How's the mentality in the group right now heading into Atlanta?
We're excited. We're having fun. It's the last, no matter what happens, it's the last week of the year. So we're all just enjoying everything and enjoying the moment and enjoying the last little bit of time we have together.
You were in an MLS Cup before with Salt Lake, but it's obviously very different being the backup versus being the starter. What do you remember from that experience, and what's it like this time around? Being in a completely different role.
I remember how much it hurt not winning. You never know. That was my first year in the league, and when you make it to the final in your first year, you kind of think that that's the norm. And then the more years you play, and you realize how difficult it is to get there, and just how much it takes everybody. From trainers to players to everybody. Everybody involved with the club. It takes a lot of work from everybody. So, I remember how much it hurt losing, and I'm just excited to be back and get the opportunity to win one.
You had a chance to really reflect it all on sort of your path to this point. Obviously, you were sitting behind Nick Raimondo for multiple years, and you had to come here and win a spot, and now you're the starting keeper about to play an MLS Cup game.
Yeah, I think I'll reflect, at the end of the year in the off season. We're trying to really stay focused on the task at hand, and it feels like every single game is it's just another opportunity for me to keep proving I belong where we are, and obviously I'm excited to be playing in this type of moment. But as far as the whole year goes, and just kind of the year it's been for me, I'll try to reflect on it after, and I'm really just trying to stay focused on the season at hand.
You guys have had a lot of success on the road this playoffs. You guys have really been able to come together in adverse environments. What do you attribute that to, and how much confidence does that give you going into Saturday?
I think, when we play at home, it's always an intense, it's always that type of environment. So, when you play however many home games we do, I think it's 17, I don't even know at this point, but when you play as many home games as we do, and that's the environment every time you step on the field, when you go away from home, it's kind of the norm for us. We're used to playing in front of loud crowds, we're used to playing in front of big atmospheres, and, I think that's something that carries us on the road a little bit.
Jeff, Jamie mentioned 2013, and that was that team's second Cup final. This year first, obviously. They're really classic MLS core players. Are there other parallels to draw with this year's team, another core that's becoming a classic core going into their second final?
I think so. You look at the guys that the Timbers had the last time they won it, and they're playing huge roles now. Valeri, Diego Chara, Ridgewell, and Jorge coming back, Milano. That's a good core group of guys, and it's good leadership that we can lean on for the experience of what they've been through. And I think reaching a second final is awesome for that core group, because I think it kind of legitimizes them and gives them the credit and the recognition that they should be getting.
You mentioned Ridgewell. What is the difference between having somebody like him who is a little vocal back there, and other players back there? What kind of leadership does he provide, and how does that affect your life?
Yeah, Reggie's amazing, man. He's truly one of the best center backs I've ever seen, and just the way that he knows the game, and the way that he organizes the back line in terms of when to step, and where different people should be in different moments. You could tell that he sees the game at a higher level. So to have someone like that in front of me, and it kind of limits the organizing and the thinking of those types of things that I have to do, so I can focus more on myself. So, having Reggie back there it's awesome.
One thing I didn't ask you about is, you guys are the offside line. He's managing it so well, but on Thursday it led to a moment where he almost got hurt. What do you think about this delayed offside rule? It looks pretty dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, that was my first really negative encounter with the new rule, but the refs tell us that's what FIFA's asking them to do. I also think that as refs, if it's clear and obvious, to have the confidence to put the flag up. But at the end of the day, the refs got the call right, and we're happy about that. And anything with the review system, I think it's going to take some fine tuning, and it's just kind of the struggles you kind of have to go through.
Jeff, I know you're sort of singularly focused on the MLS Cup right now, but I do wonder, when you came to Portland, obviously you talked about, I'm here to win a spot, I'm not here to be a backup. What was kind of your motivation? I know you were picked up in the expansion draft, but wanting to come here and what you wanted to prove?
Playing, it's funny, my father-in-law isn't a big soccer guy, and whenever I was with Salt Lake, I used to always tell him, when we play away at Portland, come check this place out. Come check out the environment. Come check out the stadium, the atmosphere, the crowd. And because I said you'll become a soccer fan, because it's different from the things that you're used to seeing in the MLS. And when I heard that I was getting the opportunity to come here and, you know, getting a taste of what it's like on the sidelines and being a part of the Timbers team, you know, it just gave me that extra motivation to be the guy in the goal. You know, it's always been my goal to be a number one in this league, and, you know, to get to do it for an organization and and a fan base and a team that, you know, is just so passionate about it and really, really, truly cares about soccer, which, you know, not all cities are like that in the league. So, you know, it's just a little extra motivation to be the guy here, and, you know, fortunately it's worked out for me.
You always have that confidence. I mean, in Salt Lake, you know, Nick was always going to play, but did you always have that confidence that you could compete for a starting role in this league if you just found the right spot?
I think it took time. You know, I got a lot of games in Salt Lake, and, you know, as you continue to grow as a player and as you continue to get more games and kind of see the results you're getting, you know, the confidence came with time. But once I got a few games there, and I knew that if I could get out of Nick's shadow and, you know, go into a place where I had the chance to compete, I felt pretty confident that I'd be able to get the spot.
Obviously, you guys would be focused on the game once that whistle blows, but what's it going to be like, you know, stepping onto the field in Atlanta with that atmosphere, with the starting lineup?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. You know, I think that we're going to enjoy every minute of this week, every minute that we're on the field. You know, it's probably you know, in terms of the MLS, you're thinking two clubs that have really upped what the MLS is, and I think it's two teams that, you know, we play contrasting styles, but I think it'll make for a really fun game, and, you know, the crowd's going to be electric, and it's just going to be a really, really fun game to be a part of.